Hello everyone, it's Bill from Dido, and I wanted to take a little bit of time here to show you the various types of questions that are available to you in Google Forms. Now, if you haven't tried Google Forms yet, what it is basically a centralized way to gather information from a group of people. And this can take on in various ways like registration documents or quizzes or surveys. And in order to create a form, all you need to do is go to Google Drive and then select Create, and then scroll down here to where it says Form. And when the form is created, right away it's going to ask you for a title as well as selecting a theme. So in this case, let's say for our demonstration purposes, I just recently taught a class on zombie preparedness, and I'd like to get some feedback from everybody on what they thought of the class. So I'll go ahead and name that, and I'll click OK. So one thing to notice on any and all questions that you have is the option to make the question required. This means that you can require the person who's filling out the form, in order for them to proceed, to be able to select an answer or enter in some information on that specific question. And this can be done for all the questions, or it can be done for just one, or anywhere in between. All you need to do in order to require that information is just select Required Question, and then that information will be requested from the end user standpoint. The other thing that you might want to keep in mind is that you have the option of data validation. And what data validation basically allows you to do is to qualify the information that you're capturing from the end user. So you have the options of validating the data, whether it is a specific number information, numeric information, specific text information, or what's called a regular expression. A regular expression is basically a way to identify certain types of text, specifically like specific characters or numbers or words or patterns. And what we've done is provided a link within our blog post here so that you can drill down pretty deep on this. It's really a great way to qualify that information that you're trying to capture, and get the right information that you want from the end user when creating these questions. So let's take a quick look at our first type of question, which is a text question. A text question is really more or less a way to provide short answers. So think of it more or less like a first name or a last name or a full name, street address or a phone number. So in this case, I'd like to ask our user what their full name is. Now, because I've said that, and maybe I want to make this a required question, I might want to also say, you know what, I need to make sure that the end user knows what kind of information I would like to get out of this. So I could say, instead of maybe their full name and a legal name, I could say, please enter your first and last name. And when I'm done with creating this question, all I need to do is click Done. And I can move on to my next question. So the next question that we can look at is what's called paragraph text. As you might imagine, a paragraph text is basically allows the end user to provide a longer answer. Under our question title, for example, I'll ask the question, please tell us what you thought of the class. And note under the data validation that you can say, I would like to have a minimum character count or a maximum character count on what you would expect from the end user. Our next question is considered a multiple choice question. A multiple choice question allows the person filling out the form the ability to select from one item out of a list of items. For example, let's say I was trying to determine how far people traveled to take this event. I could create a question like this. Now, the thing that's nice about multiple choice questions is I have the option of adding an other field. So let's say, for example, that we wanted to gather more information from somebody that beyond 29 miles, they could plug that information in there. Another neat thing about the multiple choice question is that as you begin to build out this form, you can set up various page breaks. And based on the answer that the person selects within this multiple choice question, it will go to the specific page based on that answer. Our next question type are checkboxes. And the difference between a checkbox and a multiple choice question is that you can select multiple answers. So in this case, let's fill out this question. We also have the option of adding other as well. And notice on data validation that you can require the end user to select at least or at most or even exactly the amount of answers within your checkboxes. Our next question is choose from a list. And choose from a list is similar to that of a multiple choice question. But the only difference is that respondents basically are able to select from a drop-down list as opposed to a list that's already presented. There is no data validation on these fields, nor is there an option to select other. Our next type of question is a scale question. And what this allows respondents to do is to rank something based on the scale of numbers. So from 1 to 5 or 0 to 10 or anywhere in between. And the key on this is that labeling helps identify the information that you're trying to retrieve in this. So let's talk about maybe that we want to rank how helpful this class was. And we'll say, on our scale from 1 to 5, 1 being not very helpful, and then 5 being incredibly helpful. Our next question is a grid question. And this basically allows respondents to select a point from a two-dimensional grid. So similar to that of a scale, but you can get into a little bit more in-depth information. So let's flesh this out and show you what it looks like. Maybe I want to have end users or respondents rate the following information. Our last two types of questions are date and time. So with a date question, I'm able to capture specific date and time information with this. So in this case, I wanted to follow up with a phone interview for the people who are filling out this form. I can include the year, or I can deselect that. I also can say, please enter a time. A time question is specifically geared around time or duration. As you can see, Google Forms is a tremendous resource for you and your organization in gathering a ton of information from your respondents. And there's a lot more to this. If you have questions about Google Forms and you want some more information and need some help with it, by all means, reach out to myself or to anybody else a part of the Dido team, and we'd love to help you out. Thanks for watching.